For exercise P4-43, what I need to do to actually complete this particular view is I need to do a revolve. And the best way to think about a revolution in Inventor is if you look at the exercise in the book, you have a hatched area. That hatched area represents everything that is going to be cut by the section plane. Well, if I just draw one of those hatched areas, I can effectively get all of the information that I need to do this entire drawing. So what I'm going to do is just go to Create 2D Sketch, and I want to do this on the right plane. Spin this around a little bit so that right is actually displayed correctly. Now I want to draw a line, and this line is going to be the total depth of the entire part, which is 50. Now that I have that line in place, I'm going to click on the line and I'm going to say center line. That's going to do two things for me. One, it's automatically going to select this as the center line when I get ready to do the revolve. And two, it's already set up to be the correct length, so I don't have to necessarily worry about anything else. Now I'm going to go ahead and just draw the rest of my profile. So I've got this section here that's going to come forward a little bit. It goes up, comes in, goes up again, comes all the way out to the edge. Again, it goes up, comes back, down, back to here, and right back to there. That is the profile. So what I want to do now is put a vertical constraint on this between this endpoint and this endpoint. Since that lined them up, I'll go ahead and use a horizontal constraint. Dealing with metric standards sometimes gets a little bit weird, but that's okay. So same horizontal constraint between here and here. Now I've got most of the information I need to continue working on this particular part. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with this inside and work my way out, and I'm going to go to dimension. Now I know that inner hole has a diameter of 13, and if I click from here to here, it comes out here and it gives me the diameter dimension. Because I made this a center line, I'm working in diameters. So I'm going to change that to 13. The diameter for this piece right here is 30. So I'll put in 30 for this. Overall is 75. This one right here is 60. And this back one is 50. So now all I need to do is dimension this piece here at 15. This segment right here is 37. So we'll put in the 37 there. And then this last piece is 25. Okay, so there's all the dimensions that I need. You'll notice that everything's blue. I've got my center line. I can now finish my sketch. When I click on Revolve, what you're going to notice happen is since I only have one profile and it has a center line, it's automatically going to put in all the parameters needed for this entire operation. All I have to do is say OK. So if I take a look at this object, I can now see that in one sketch, one step, I've completed the entire part file. So at this point, I can go ahead and move right on to my drawing file. So I'm just going to go to New, and we'll come down here to the drawing files and grab an ANSI millimeter IDW and say Create. I can now place my base view. This sheet size is going to be really big, so I'm just going to go ahead and edit my sheet. And I'll change this to a B size, say OK. Now I'll go back to my base view. We can see that it's a little bit bigger, looks a little bit better. I could probably even go down as far as A, but we'll stick with B for right now. I'm just going to go ahead and save this part file, and then there's my view. Right click OK. Now I want to go to section view. So I click on this view, and I'm just going to cut straight down through the center, and then continue and drop out my section view. Again, I'm going to uncheck Show Entire Line. I can now switch to Annotate and begin to dimension. This dimension is 75. This dimension is 60. This dimension is going to be 30. And since that center one is a hole, I'm going to go ahead, well, I didn't use the hole command to create it, so I'll just go ahead and dimension it here. I do want to put a center line on the entire thing, and I want to do a center line that runs through this view as well. Okay, so there's all of my center lines. I need to dimension the back side of this, and this is a diameter, but it's not going to come up as a diameter. So once I place it, I'm going to get out of the dimension command and just double click inside of it. And now in front of this text, I'm going to come down here and grab my diameter symbol and say OK. So there I now have a diameter of 50. I'm going to move my view title out of the way so I have enough room to dimension. I want to dimension from here to here. That's my 25. From here to here, there's my 37. From here to here, there's my 15. And from here to here is my 50. So I've got my 75, my 60, I've got my 30, my 13. I've got all the information in. Everything's fully dimensioned. At this point, I come up here, export, PDF, and that's what you're going to turn in for this particular file.